Hey guys, happy GA Flashback Friday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic, magical, wonderful end of your week. I know I am. I'm glad the week's over. My work week is not over. I have to work tomorrow, but for the most part, my work week is over. Like the majority of it. Thank God. I have worked every day since last Saturday. I'm exhausted. I need a break or I'm going to snap out on somebody. And like tonight I have to close for the first time, which is kind of weird. Like I haven't done it yet. And they're like training me to close by myself. So eventually I will be the manager on duty. I will have an associate with me and then I have to close. And there are some people that I work with though that are just, they have no work ethic. Like my boss got stuck with a whole bunch of like college kids with no work ethic, and they're just unprofessional, and it drives me nuts. And they look at you like you have horns growing out of your head 95% of the time, and it's just annoying. But it is what it is, and it's like we've just got to get it to where we want it to be. And I know that between her and I we can. It's just getting us there. It takes a lot of work and it's stressing me out, but it's all good because I do love my job. I do love what I do, and I don't want to do anything else. And even though it's stressful, this kind of comes with the territory, and it's just a lot. Like I've had a lot thrown at me really fast, and so I think that's not helping things either, but it will get there and it will be fine, and my work week will be over and I will get a break on Sunday, and it will be just amazingly, wonderfully perfect, unless they call me in. And if they call me in, I swear I'll probably snap out or just not answer the phone. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, we're not here to talk about crazy work weeks and overtime. We are here for GA Flashback Friday, where I recap a past episode of Ghost Adventures. And this week, we are going back to the Stanley Hotel. This place needs no introduction. Everybody who is a horror movie anything knows the Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel is famous for many reasons. One, it's insanely freaking haunted. Two, it is like the perfect getaway. It's nestled in the mountains in Estes Park, Colorado. It's surrounded by nothing but elk and snow and mountains and trees, and it's like that blissful getaway that's insanely freaking haunted. And it also most famously inspired Stephen King to write the novel The Shining, which we all know is a huge major motion picture, huge movie. Insanely freaking popular today. I mean, come on, Jack Nicholson, let's go. You know, it's iconic. Like, it's got iconic lines, it's got iconic scenes. It's just an amazing, amazing movie. And the Stanley Hotel inspired Stephen King to write the book The Shining, which then became this major cult hit. That has never been redone, thank God. Because I don't think if they ever redid The Shining, I think somebody would have to be shot. You can't take a movie like The Shining and redo it. Ever. Ever. So no one ever try, because it can't ever be done. No one can do what Jack Nicholson did in that movie. Like, nobody. Now, with the Stanley Hotel, it's so well known, and it's so well, like, documentedly haunted, that they employ their own psychic. I mean, how cool is that? Like, they employ their own resident psychic to live there. It's being a hotel, of course, it has its fair share of tragedy and, its fair share of stories behind it. Some of the most, like, I guess, well-known haunts in the hotel itself is, room 401, which is Lord Dunraven's room. And he doesn't like people very much. He doesn't like you provoking him. He doesn't like you in his room. Surprise, surprise. Room 412 is the poltergeist room, or what they call the poltergeist room. People who have stayed in there have said that their beds have levitated. They've had things thrown at them. And then room 217 is the room that inspired Stephen King to write The Shining. The night before lockdown at the Stanley Hotel, the guys did something kind of different inside the hotel. They stayed there and documented while they slept. They had like hooked up a DVR system to 3 different rooms in the hotel, and they all stayed by themselves, and they tried to document it any evidence before they actually did lockdown, because their actual lockdown, the night of lockdown, and their 2-part lockdown wasn't even done in the hotel, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they stayed in the hotel the night before, and the guys did have some experiences, mostly EVPs, which is, I mean, pretty common, but they were pretty clear EVPs, and they were all pretty relevant. Zach stayed in Lord Denraven's room, so room 401. Nick stayed in the poltergeist room, room 412. And Aaron stayed in room 428, which is where they say that a cowboy spirit has been known to, like, tuck the ladies in and kiss on them a little bit. And so, in true GAC fashion, the guys put on this hideous, like, orange wig on Aaron's head to try to trick the spirit. Okay, spirits are dead. They're not stupid. But it was really funny to see Aaron in this orange wig. Like, I couldn't take him seriously. It was just really, really, really funny. And I just lost it. Like, it was beyond me. But they did get some really good evidence. Zach heard a noise in his room, and then he got an EVP that says somebody's coming. Nick got, you better start talking. They got some more. They got, hey, come on, they're up late, pass the key, and that was a shadow. So I think that, like, and all of those were coinciding with different noises that they heard and different experiences that they had, and so it was no joke that the hotel was haunted. Moving on to part 2 of lockdown. Excuse me, I'm yawning as usual. This is the new theme in my videos. Can you tell? Moving on to part 2 of their lockdown. They actually did part 2 of their lockdown in what they call the carriage house, which is where they used to store cars and parts for the hotel and things like that. And then in the 70s, it kind of became a flop hotel. They've had some deaths in there, and then they also now store, when they have deaths in the hotel, they take those mattresses out and, excuse me, and store them in this carriage house. They don't let anybody in the carriage house, ever. To investigate, they don't let anybody in there to hang out, and they let the GAC in there, which I think was pretty awesome. So they go in there, and they start their investigation, and they get a few feelings, but they don't get a lot, and then they bring in Bill Chappell. Now, this is awesome, because this is one of the few times that Bill's actually been on the show. He's been on the show a couple of times since then, but this was the first time I believe that he was ever on the show. He had given them equipment before, but this time he was actually, like, on the show. Oh my God. And he brings a triple spectrum camera and a sonar device that's similar to what is used to detect movement in the ocean. But with this, it detects movement within an electromagnetic field. And actually, these lines would move down or up, depending on how the energy field was being affected, whenever there would be a change in the energy. And they were actually getting major drops. Like, they were getting drops by Zach when he would feel energy, and they were getting drops by Nick when they would feel energy. Aaron was kind of watching with Bill. They got some EVPs that said, don't trust, I'll be right there, that's okay, and right here. And they got a couple of unexplained light anomalies, kind of like flickering and floating. It was just kind of a weird lockdown the way that they did it. They broke it down a lot more than they normally do. You know, they made a distinct notion to let you know it was a 2-part lockdown, that they were doing it in 2 separate nights for 2 different reasons. It wasn't like this long, drawn out, oh my crap, excuse me, chaotic lockdown. It was just kind of like a very meticulous, systematic lockdown. Which I really like. I think that it's a lot of fun when they kind of break it down and make it different like that. And it's just really awesome to kind of see their distinct, like their different investigation styles. They kind of tailor each investigation to the location. And that's kind of what started all of that. I remember the Stanley kind of being a turning point where they kind of tailored their investigations a little bit. And it was really, really nice to see. And so, of course, like I said, I didn't have to go into the Stanley Hotel a lot. Everybody knows where it is. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows what it inspired. And it's just one of those classic, iconic haunts that I think will always kind of be around. And it's really exciting, and it's definitely on my bucket list for sure. But that is all I have for GA Flashback Friday. I will see you guys on Monday for GA Recap Monday, where I recap the newest episode of Ghost Adventures. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, much love and happiness. Have a great magical weekend. I'm going to work. I'll see you guys soon. Much love.